I am Naina Gaud. I've been working in Ruby Capital since the last 8 to 10 months. I'm a chartered accountant. I qualified in 2004, worked with an investment bank for 6 to 7 years, then taught for a couple of years, and I've been here. Here, my primary role as a senior vice president is working on complex financial models, working on the complicated aspects of presentations, and a whole lot of routine work as well, like evaluating companies who are seeking investments, finding out what's the funding requirement and helping them get funding. The work-life balance is pretty good compared to any regular iBank, where you have really grueling long hours. Here, whatever you work very focused throughout the day. So typically, I make it a point to leave somewhere in the evening. The analysts continue to work till say 8 or 9 at an average. I leave a little before that. But if there is work, you have to work into the late hours, into the night, or probably even over the weekend. The first task that we entrust an analyst is very basic research work. So the initial couple of months is just spent on data digging so that the person understands that this is a primary task. That's very essential to go into the presentations or the pitches that we make or the data that's required inside the financial models. And simultaneously, we also start explaining where is this going into. And once that is done properly, we have to understand that the person is having an attention to detail, a good eye, and any kind of work should be done very efficiently. The next step would be making PowerPoint presentations. So basic presentations wherein there will be someone on the team. Then gradually moving on to spreadsheet work, starting with comparable companies analysis or precedent transaction analysis. That's typical work. As the intern grows up the ladder and probably moves up the value chain, gets into an analyst role, and the analyst moves up, the person can work onto financial models and more complex tasks, interact with clients, visit clients, go to client meetings. So the CV has to be neat, crisp. Everybody knows what a CV should be like. But things that bankers typically look into are attention to details. So an extra full stop, an extra punctuation, an extra space or a missing space, something weird with the font is something that catches our eye very quickly, and we hate that as bankers. So that's one thing that we typically red flag out. So you shouldn't have any errors in your CV that somebody can figure out. In terms of skill sets, the two most important, on computer skills are spreadsheet, that's Excel. So you have to be very, very good at Excel to the point of not using the mouse for, your Excel shortcuts. And PowerPoint. So PowerPoint, your presentations have to look presentable, neat, good and professional. These are, some of the key skills that have to be there in any analyst or have to be developed in any analyst. And Excel and PowerPoint are such a thing that even after 10 years, I'm still learning new things. So there is no end to it. An analyst will typically work on lesser complex things, associate on more complex things. What we as a firm help is handhold in all the tasks to start with. Then ultimately there's less of handholding, more of actual doing the work. So rather than telling you to do ABC tasks within a particular assignment, we give it to the analyst or the associate and let the person have a free hand. and then guide him. So that helps the learning process much faster. Also, we have a lot of training programs, so we'll be having an off-site learning program or short training shortly here. Somebody who should apply for a position here should have a passion for numbers. Numbers as in not the capital markets per se, but passion on working in numbers in, say, Excel, and a passion for creating presentations, pitch books. That would be something which would be an ideal combination. So not necessary to have a combination. If you have a keen interest on one set, that could be your area of expertise. So at Ruby Capital, you get to work in the investment banking domain, which is obviously a very high profile kind of a domain. Other than that, you get the benefits of working in a firm which caters to the growing startup and the SME segment, along with some high profile clients. So you get a very good mix of a perfect combination of work that you cannot get in, say, a very big firm. Say you have a particular deal, for a couple of years you will be working on the same aspect for all types of deals. So as an analyst in a bigger firm, you are restricted to the kind of work you do. Whereas here in Ruby, you'll get to do all kinds of work as long as you're willing to learn and willing to show your eagerness and your effort. You can do whatever you wish to do.